to why you're gaining weight in midlife, even though you're eating healthy. And this is for the woman who's doing everything right and she's still gaining weight. So, welcome to the training today. And here is what we're going to learn. Firstly, why your diet is making you store more fat. Number two, marketing healthy, and I put this in parentheses, healthy buzzword tricks, because in fact, most of these products come in packaging. They're not healthy. We're going to go through what a lot of the key ones are. We're also going to talk about the midlife hormone switch up and how to enter fat burning mode. Number four, how to shift from eating clean to eating strategically for hormone harmony. And I keep putting these in parentheses because a lot of times we think we're eating clean, following certain diet culture rules that we all kind of know and have assumed over years of just hearing that and seeing it all over social media. But a lot of times it's working against our biology. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And you're going to walk away with 3 nutrition habits to boost your metabolism. So who this is for and who it isn't for. This is for you if you notice your body is changing without any lifestyle changes. The majority of my clients, they come to me and they're putting on weight in their belly area, love handles, thighs, hips, basically a lot of the area in the midsection of the body where hormonal weight tends to come on. And they tell me, Morgana, I'm doing the same thing I've always done, but my body's changing and I'm so frustrated, I can't get in control of it. This is for you if you're stuck in the diet culture loop. So when something's not working, you jump to another diet. And then when that stops working, you jump to another one. And you keep on, you're basically a hamster on this hamster wheel, trying all these different diets and approaches. This is for you if you keep gaining weight despite all of these efforts, if you want to feel confident in your skin again. And it's also for you if you want to develop healthy nutrition habits in midlife and you want to support your body to its fullest potential so you're living your healthiest and happiest life. So my big promise is that in the next 25 minutes, we're going to solve this problem once and for all. Firstly, why diet culture is keeping you in fat storing mode. I know that might seem like a shock. You're like, shouldn't my diet help me lose fat? No, actually, a lot of them are not meant for the female biology, and that basically triggers fat storing in and it communicates that to our cells, which is really interesting. We're going to also talk about how, again, the parentheses come in, how healthy labeled foods hijack your metabolism and your overall health. We're going to basically get a better understanding of why your metabolism changes in midlife and how to work with it to burn fat, how to eat strategically for hormone harmony. So yes, this is a video about weight loss, but you're also going to learn so much, which is going to nourish your hormones and help if you're experiencing other symptoms. And then, like I said, 3 nutrition habits to boost your metabolism. So why I've put this training together for you today is because I work with so many women who come to me, they're looking to lose 10 plus pounds in 45 days. They have tried all the diets, they've literally exhausted everything else that they could think of. And they're like, okay, I'm finally in a place where I've tried everything. I know now that it's not working. I need to lose the weight. I need to increase my confidence. And so they come and look for like a sustainable solution. So that's basically what I'm offering. I know what it's like to be stuck in the diet culture loop from my own personal experience and not see lasting results. I was stuck in a decade of hopping from diet to diet, overtraining, burning myself out, really working my adrenals to the max. And I gave myself 2 hormonal conditions because of it, and I kept putting on more and more weight. I've seen through my clients their incredible results, and I want you to experience them for yourself too. I also want you to have actionable tips because a lot of videos, they just tell you the why, they don't communicate to you the how. I want to actually give you the how of how to enter and stay in fat burning mode. And I 100% know that we can get you back to feeling confident again in your 25-year-old body. If you stay towards the end, you're going to get a couple of things from me. You're going to get an amazing 5-day perimenopause reset plan. This is incredible for you if you're also experiencing classic perimenopause symptoms that we see: hot flashes, night sweats, trouble sleeping, infrequent heavy cycles, dizziness, rashes, whatever it may be. This reset plan is great. Another one is the hormone cheat sheet. So you're going to learn about 5 key hormones in this and all of the hacks that we have in order to basically, yeah, hack your metabolism, hack your hormones, and just basically create body-wide relief and natural hormone harmony. There's an Elevate in 10 workout series, 2 10-minute workouts designed to boost your metabolism in a super time-friendly manner you can do straight from home. You're also going to get my From Fatigue to Freedom video series teaching you how to reclaim energy, boost your metabolism, burn fat, create natural hormone harmony. And last but certainly not least is the best one. You get a complimentary midlife optimization session with me. You're going to walk away with a blueprint that you can implement that works with your biology to help you with whatever goal you come to me with, whether it's weight loss, whether it's regarding symptoms, whether it's regarding energy, sleep, detox, whatever it may be, we will design a blueprint for you. Then, who the heck am I, right? Like, why should you listen to me? I, as I mentioned, came from a background where I was a former 2-time world champion dancer. I did do that decade of fad dieting, gave myself hormonal conditions, and it caused like a lot of loss of confidence, depression, anxiety. I really was just, it was not my decade. Um, and that brought me, luckily, I'm so thankful for that experience because it brought me into the holistic health world. I ended up getting certified at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I am a certified menopause health coach with my MT. And then with learning all of this knowledge, I managed to heal the growths in my uterus, renourish my thyroid, heal all of my hormonal symptoms, and I'm just a different person than I was. I'm also the founder of my company, This Isn't a Diet. I'm the best-selling author of the book Read This When You're Done Dieting, which educates you on your different body symptoms, teaches you how to properly detox your hormones, balance your blood sugar naturally, hack your gut health, increase your vibrational frequency. And I talk a lot about these things on my podcast. Listen to this when you're done dieting as well. So the biggest problem that you currently face right now is you might be eating less and moving more, right? Like that's the first thing we think of in diet culture. All of these different diets and approaches we take are based on restriction and starvation. And you're hopping from diet to diet because diets don't last long term. And then you're feeling frustrated with your body because diet culture, number one, keeps you trapped in a yo-yo pattern. I've done so many studies and I've researched so many studies where diets basically you can do them for about 6 months, and that's being very generous. That's with somebody who has like incredible discipline. You can do them for about 6 months. You'll see short-term results, and then typically after that, within a year of starting that diet, where people start to fall off track, they put on more weight than when they started the diet. And that's because we always think mind over matter, but that's so false because your biology is going to kick in at some point. Like we can't outfight what our biology is telling us. And when we create these worsened food relationships and patterns, and we're fighting against our natural biology to survive and feed ourselves consistently, obviously, we're not going to get the results that we seek. So that's why my company is called This Isn't a Diet. Also, weight loss in midlife, it requires hormone supportive habits. Diet culture does not lend itself to those. And you might be unintentionally slowing down your metabolism, aka again, diet culture, and chronically spiking your blood sugar and cortisol levels. On top of all of this stuff, you're, trying to navigate, trying to understand, trying to just do what's best for your body. Like there's absolutely no judgment here. It's like I said, I did 10 years of all of these things myself. I had to learn the hard way. And, your confidence, it takes a huge hit. I can absolutely empathize with that. So the underlying pain and the frustration that this causes in your life, like I said, loss of confidence, and that translates unfortunately into every aspect of your life. I work with so many clients where I've seen this is the case and they leave like a completely different person of themselves. It's so beautiful to watch not only their body transform, but their confidence and their whole persona transform. And that changes their whole life. I know with myself, when I was going through that decade of fat dieting, I withdrew socially. I canceled plans. I couldn't dance usually we dance in front of mirrors. I had to turn away and dance to walls because I just hated looking at myself in the reflection. I had horrible body dysmorphia. And I was a shell of the person that I was. I wasn't operating at my peak energy. And I also know, and I've seen through my clients what it feels like when your body is working against you. You just feel frustrated. You don't know what to do. And then that translates into literal frustration and confusion over how to eat, train, and live to see results. Because we see one thing on social media, we turn to the next video and it's telling you not to do that thing and to focus on this diet because that'll get you results. And it can be so confusing. So I want to basically crowd out all the noise and give you the exact science that will help you reach your body goals. So this is exactly what you want, right? Like when we look at the picture, we see this beautiful woman laughing. She's like a couple sizes down, and I'm going to show you how to get that today. How would it feel to drop 20 plus pounds in 45 days and glow with confidence? Imagine yourself in her shoes, holding your pants, and it's like too big for you. And you're like, oh my God, I look and feel amazing. Like honestly, just feel that feeling for a second. Just imagine what that would do to your being, to just like how proud of yourself would you be? And it's not, of course, the physical aspect is a huge part of that, but the other thing is how would you be able to show up differently in your life? When I healed my hormones and dropped the weight through utilizing these techniques, my whole life changed. I was able to manifest the life of my dreams. I was able to finally speak up for myself, to put myself in rooms with people who I respected, to operate at peak energy, to go after the career that I absolutely loved, to be in social settings with other people and not compare myself to other women. How incredible would that feel in your life? So this is the path that you need to take to get these results. This is the method I'm going to show you. Firstly, we're going to talk about why your diet is making you store more fat. So, number one, diet culture and classic eat less, move more ideology. It was never meant for female biology. I'm going to tell you why. The studies done on these were done on men. The reason they left women out of the studies is because our hormones change every day in a 28 cycle, right? AKA our period. So it's too variable to test. So they actually just left us out and then they recommended we do the same things. Now, when you think about it, we as women, we thrive on nourishment and safety. Whenever we cannot deal with stress in the same way that men can. In ancient like tribes, the men would leave the home to go hunt, to go get food, to protect us, because our safety response is not the same. We need to be we thrive when we're in a safe environment. That's why we didn't go out and do those things. So why are we putting ourselves in really unsafe situations with our body where we don't know when our next meal is going to be, when we're, you know, thriving on, not thriving, but surviving on no sleep, and pushing ourselves to the max in the gym. Obviously, that's not how our biology was created. So we need to get back into a safety response with our bodies. That's why when you underfuel and overtrain, it puts that body in survival mode where it actually stores fat as a safety mechanism. Your body's highly adaptable and it's so smart. And so when you're basically doing the opposite of what you want when you eat less and move more, your body it's saying like, okay, I don't know when my next meal is going to be, so let me just store this fat so that way I know we'll be okay. I know that we'll have fuel. And so it's not you shouldn't hate your body. It's actually trying to protect you. It's trying to like give you everything that you need. And so it's so crazy when my clients, they start like timing their meals and having 3 quality meals per day. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually eating well. Like I'm not dieting. I feel great. And the weight is coming right off. It's actually way simpler than we make it out to be. Women, we also need all three macros in good proportion and at key times. So this is why like keto, certain diets, like carbohydrates are often victimized. We need carbohydrates at key times throughout the day and also at key times in our cycle where we should emphasize them in order to have a healthy and regulated cycle. So again, taking out certain macros for women, absolutely not ideal. Nourishing the body properly, it also communicates to your cells. We have intercellular communication that it's safe to basically release the weight. Isn't that incredible? Like once you basically are in your parasympathetic nervous system, your body can release the weight, you can burn the belly fat, you can feel so much better. And when we utilize these fat burn biohacks with a solid nutrition plan, it's going to get you to your weight loss goals. Like we need both. And then it's an incredible way to get your dream body while living like a very healthy, attainable, and sustained lifestyle. That's the thing, other thing with diets, why you can't do it long term, because it's so bloody difficult. And it's not realistic. Whenever I meet with a client, we talk about what their natural lifestyle is. Like, are you out of the house all day? Do you need to meal prep certain things? Are you traveling quite a bit, or are you working from home and you have a little bit more flexibility? Like, what does this actually look like? So that way we can create a plan that matches your unique lifestyle, your goals, in order to like actually attain them and keep them off, right? That's what you should be receiving. And we're also going to talk about these marketing healthy buzzword tricks. And I put a picture here of the keto cookie because that's like the one that used to trick me all the time. I used to have such a sweet tooth, and I was like, oh my God, this is healthy because it says keto on it, right? And not to worry, like I've fallen for those, like so many of us falls for it. And the thing is that these marketers, they of course they want you to spend your money with them. They want you to consume their products. So they've now developed this marketing language, and it disguises packaged products, which are full of additives, toxins, and chemicals, as nutritious and diet culture appropriate. And they know that these buzzwords we resonate with. It's just common diet culture language, which I'm going to share with you. So that way we literally just read the packaging of the product, and in our heads, we make the association that it's healthy because the majority of us don't take the time. And I used to not do this as well, like no shame whatsoever. Of course, now with education, I know definitely to look at the ingredient list. But when you check the ingredient list, you see that all of like, there's so many words you can't pronounce. There's all of these added sweeteners and sugars there, which don't make any sense and that are actually causing more fat storage and which are just laden with chemicals and toxins that causes so much liver strain. So some key buzzwords to look out for is keto, low calorie, low fat, fat free, paleo approved, sugar free, and then you see an ingredient list full of artificial sweeteners, guilt free, zero, etc. All of these buzzwords really really just have an open eye when you look at them. Check the ingredient list and the nutritional values. You should definitely just go into it with an open mind. What I highly recommend, we're going to come to that in a second actually, but just to further it, these additives that are on the ingredient list, they cause liver strain. Your liver is responsible for filtering toxins and also filtering your hormones. When you have an abundance of toxins going on in your system and you're consuming these packaged foods with so many toxins and chemicals in them, you back up your hormones. You cause hormonal imbalances. It also increases fat storage because there's all these artificial sweeteners and sugars in there, which we can't understand. We don't know, like maltose dextrin or whatever. And we don't know that that's a sugar. And you're basically, yeah, hiking up your insulin and glucose levels. And these products, like they're so smart, the people who create them, they have this bliss point, which causes dopamine fires and responses in the brain, which light it up. And it causes you to want to consume more and more and more of that food. So it does cause addictive food behaviors and worsen metabolic health because of those drastic insulin spikes. And very simple rule, if you don't understand the ingredients on the label, don't consume it. In my programs, I have this great brands that we love sheet, and it has a lot of great products which have clean, healthy ingredients list. But just to be safe, you want to get back to shopping the outer rings of your grocery stores, where when you pick up an apple, there's no ingredient list because it is the apple. Of course, when you're choosing your foods, you want to be choosing organic because yes, that apple can have pesticides on it, can have like a glass coating. We don't want any of that stuff. Always choose organic and then grass-fed whole foods and meats only to avoid the antibiotic usage, the GMO, all of those things. But shopping, even if you just got away from having a predominantly packaged foods, you'd already be doing so much better by your health and by achieving your goals. Not only will you see the huge belly fat reduction, but you're also going to notice that you don't have any more cravings because you're eating predominantly whole foods, and your energy levels are going to improve because your insulin and glucose levels are staying steady. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what that is. So basically, The risk of insulin resistance increases as we age. When you have a healthy functioning blood sugar system, when you consume glucose, you use that up as energy, or if you have a little bit of extra glucose, your pancreas will pump out some insulin. It will pack it away either into your liver, into your muscles for later use, or in fat, so that way you can burn it as fat later on. So basically, insulin resistance as we age, it's basically your insulin and glucose, they cannot bind to each other anymore. So you have a bunch of glucose and insulin free floating. That glucose keeps being stored as fat. You're seeing a lot more of the symptoms coming up, hormonal imbalances, because insulin is like it's a foundational hormone. When it's not being balanced and utilized appropriately, all of your other hormones are going to overcompensate or undercompensate. Okay, so we do see a lot of belly fat accumulation. So hacking your blood sugar levels is imperative for every single woman. I don't care whatever they come to me with, we need to make sure that this is good. So we do a lot of work on this in my company. And we also make sure that we prevent that fat storage and we maintain hormonal balance because it's such a pivotal thing in the hormone hierarchy. Another pivotal hormone is cortisol. When we have chronic high cortisol, because we live in, very stressful times where we're brought all the problems of the world on our phone, we're dealing with demanding careers and family life and a household and an ever, piling up list of a to-do list. And a lot of us have burnt out adrenals. And this is another hormone switch up that happens, and it can cause increased weight gain just from cortisol alone. So maybe you're not changing up your lifestyle, but you're just over burning out your adrenals. And then again, you're like leading to energy crashes, to your insulin going off, to cravings, whatever it may be. When you're more tired, you make worse food choices. All of these compacted and basically bundled up symptoms, which then cause more belly fat storage. When you push through and you gaslight your fatigue, I know because I did this when I was doing a decade of fad dieting and overtraining. You gaslight yourself. You're like, no, I'm fine. I'm not tired. Mind over matter, push through, like no pain, no gain. I hate that saying. I used to use it all the time. But it does cause further fat storage until you confront it and you employ active stress coping mechanisms. That is why nervous system regulation is something that, again, is a core pillar in what we do. Vagal tone tools in order to basically stimulate the vagus nerve that runs and connects to your parasympathetic nervous system to help you stay in that parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest for longer in your day rather than your fight or flight, aka stress system. This becomes mandatory during this hormonal transition in midlife. Okay, it's so important. And when these two foundational hormones are supported, sustainable weight loss is achieved. Okay, so even if you just started to work on these two, you're going to see huge differences in your symptoms, in your weight, in your confidence, in your energy, in your cravings, literally your whole life. So I want to give you 3 nutrition habits that will basically create a little bit more consistency, replenish some perhaps nutritional deficiencies, and give you better practices. So protein is such a key thing when we're going through midlife because as we age, our risk for sarcopenia, where you have declining muscle mass and actually also declining bone mass as a result of that bone density, protein becomes so imperative to maintain that. So the minimum range is that you want to be getting 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight as a minimum. And I stress this because let's say you're 80 kilograms. You should be getting around 80 grams of protein a day, but that's very minimum. We want to be operating at optimal levels. So I have my clients always trying to hit numbers in the 100 ranges. So that way to make sure that they're, building muscle, boosting their metabolism, burning fat, protecting their bones, protecting their muscles, all of these incredible things that come from protein, having enough adequate amino acids in your system. So I would say like an optimal range, I'm typically having of course, it depends on body weight and height from client to client, which we calculate, but typically from like 100 to 130 with some very active clients, 150 grams of protein a day. That might seem super unattainable. So start tracking it and start adding different protein sources to your plate at a time because it really does help. I want you to also, we're going to talk about carbs now, boost your workouts by front loading your complex carbohydrates before your workout. Okay. This gives your body energy to use. So you're having a better workout. You have immediate glucose that your body can translate into for energy. And then you can emphasize protein after because you've just basically worked out your muscle fibers and we need to help them repair and regrow. So we need those amino acids coming in from the protein. We need some complex carbohydrates after to basically make sure that you're replenishing lost glycogen in your muscles, aka the sugar that was stored in your muscles. Okay. And this is what we call front loading and back loading your carbohydrates. We keep them around your workouts. Another key thing in your cycle is to have carbohydrates around ovulation because it's a beautiful way to help maintain your fertility, maintain a regulated cycle. So typically around days 12 to 14 of your cycle. It's a beautiful time to put that in. But everyone ovulates at different times. Yours could be from day 14 to 17. So tracking your cycle is really key. So having about like 1/3 of like a cup of oats before a workout, like a good quality oats with protein powder. I always emphasize don't go for whey protein because dairy is its own problem in and of itself. So having a good quality of a vegan protein powder, I always say pea protein is one of my personal favorites, something that doesn't have soy or a lot of additives or added sugars in it. And then having like some steak with some sweet potato. Sweet potato is a beautiful slow burning carb that doesn't hike your insulin levels up immediately. And then having like some baked veggies after as well. Another key thing is to practice micro fasting between your meals. So I don't know where we got this from, but some genius decided one day that having grazing throughout your day, having six smaller meals throughout your day is somehow healthier. It isn't. Having three quality meals per day with breaks of 3 to 4 hours between your meals is best because you need to eat something and then you need to give your body time to digest it properly when because also when we eat we enter something called this postprandial period. There's a slight inflammation going on in the body. You activate your digestive system. It needs to work in order to process everything and to help you eliminate it properly. And when you're constantly piling in more and more and more food, we're always in an inflamed state. Our body is always working to digest. So that's why where the micro fasting comes in. It's a beautiful practice to support your digestion. And these small steps is going to kickstart your metabolism and it's going to boost your body confidence. So we had this beautiful client and her name was Kiana. She dropped 8 pounds of fat in 45 days, but she increased her her body tone and muscle mass that we can see in the picture here. She lost about 1 pound per week continuously over our work together, reduced inches off her waist. So you can see her waist is much smaller. And we increased muscle mass and tone. We basically did a lot of portions work because some of the portions weren't the best. We boosted her metabolism through a lot of the practices of like blood sugar hacking, nervous system regulation, and we detoxed many years of heavy metals and toxins, which were backloading her hormones and causing stubborn hormonal weight. We also had this incredible client, Ingrid. She lost 10 pounds in 40 days from her belly, bum, and thighs, and she eliminated perimenopause symptoms. And it's so funny. When she left me this testimonial, she was telling me how she was able to see her abs and her thigh muscles for the first time in years. She was so confident taking this picture. She couldn't take a before picture because she just did not like the reflection of herself. And here she is, like mega confident. So what we did is we regulated her nervous system, prioritized insulin balancing, hormone detox, and then her confidence soared. So I want you to imagine, like, what would your story look like 45 days from now? Do you have a weight loss goal in mind that, you're striving to hit? I would love to just for you to picture what that would look like. And are you my next success story? I would love to have you like featured here, your before and after, and where you're like, oh my gosh, this woman looks incredible. We can visibly see a confidence difference. So what you can do in order to get that, I would love to have a complimentary consultation with you, where we can basically discuss what you've tried and why it hasn't worked. A lot of diet culture talk, I'm guessing, what your goals are for this year so we can set a plan to implement it. Like I said, that exact roadmap that you need to execute on. We're going to talk about the next steps to becoming a private client of ours. And every single person that books in a call will be leaving with a customized blueprint worth $800. So the biggest obstacle that you face right now is if you decide to put it off. You decide to hop on another diet and give that a go. Yeah, so we now know the hormonal stuff as to why that doesn't work. So putting it off is not, it's just delaying the inevitable. You might lose motivation. You might be in the middle of booking in a call and then something happens and you forget about it or whatever that may be. We need to do this. We need to get you on the right path, not just for the weight loss, but for your confidence for your whole life, because your health impacts everything. You might like get stuck, and just not know where to turn from there. You might tell yourself certain excuses, and you might just again be gaslighting yourself. And I always include this because Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I did that for 10 years and I was definitely insane then until I finally took action. And I'm so happy. It's the best thing I ever did because that caused a ripple action into the rest of my life, into my career, my finances, my relationships, my social life, my family life. Everything changed. So I want you to take action to schedule in that call and get your free plan. Or you can repeat the same thing you've always done. So here's what you need to do next. I want you to head to my link to book in that complimentary consultation. This is in a diet.com/booking. You can book in a time with me where we will meet. We're going to go over everything and then you're going to walk away with that blueprint you can implement. So some frequently asked questions. What is this call about? This call is about me fully understanding where you are at now, what you've tried, giving you actionable tips so you can see results. Are you talking to the real coach? Yes, you're going to be talking to me personally because I need to know before I create any customized plan for everybody. I need to speak to the real person. Why is this different from anything else I've tried? Well, firstly, you're going to get customized plans for literally everything for your nutrition, fitness, hormone health, sleep optimization, gut health protocols. Doctors don't do this stuff. They'll give you HRT, they'll give you supplements, they'll give you medication, but they won't go into the preventative lifestyle behaviors. We create that full encompassing of the supplement. Yes, we give you the supplementation, but we also give you that like nutrition, fitness, literally everything. You don't need a personal trainer. You don't need outside experts. This is the one program that gives you everything that you need. What do I get if I decide to work with you? Like I said, you get all of those customized plans. You get access to coaching with me weekly basis. You get access to my fat burn protocol and hack your body method. So that way you have all of the biohacks you'll ever need. So that way you can keep the weight off and keep the symptoms at bay forever and like live your happiest, healthiest life. How much does it cost? The call is absolutely free. So I can't guarantee access to my programs. I'm very busy. And this is just simply to help people who are serious about their goals. Do I guarantee results? Yes, absolutely. So what I need you to do is head to thisisinadiet.com/booking to receive that complimentary consultation with me. I want to help you achieve your results. I know that we can 100% do that together, and I'm so excited to see you on the call.